Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We'd love to have you come in out of the sunshine and the heat and join us under our big top. We're going to get started with our program shortly. Come on in. All right, once again, I'm going to invite you to come in under the tent. We're getting ready to start our program. There's plenty of seats over here to my left. Come on in. And we'd like our speakers here in the front row, if they're not here already, please join us up front. Just bring me notes after that. Right in front, right? All right. Good morning. Good morning. It's like church. Okay. Well, for many of us, it is. So, good morning and welcome to Pure Water, Southern California. My name is Dee Zink. I'm the Assistant General Manager of External Affairs for the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, and it is my pleasure to greet you this morning on this special occasion that celebrates our partnership with the state of California. So we have a brief program for you this morning, about 5 or 6 speakers. I'll do your attention because of their involvement and leadership in this effort. Before we get started, though, I want to acknowledge that everybody in this audience is a VIP to this project. You've all been helpful in your own ways and helped with your leadership. But there are some elected and appointed officials that I want to recognize right now because we all like to know when they're in the house, and we want to make sure that we recognize their service. So before we get started, I'd just like to, and some of these individuals will be introduced as we go. I'm going to do this in the order that I have on this sheet. But Assemblymember Lisa Calderon, Assemblymember Mike Gibson, State Water Resources Control Board Chair Joaquin Esquivel, and then we have a number of individuals who are here from, we have so many water folks here, we probably won't get through all of those today, but we will identify those who are here for our program, and also some of the staff representing different offices. So I'd like to acknowledge Director Art Chacon from the Metropolitan Board, Director Brenda Denstedt from Metropolitan's Board, Director Carl Douglas from Metropolitan's Board, Director Dick from Metropolitan's Board, Larry Dick, Director Tana McCoy from Metropolitan's Board, and I see you, Director LaFave from Metropolitan's Board. Now, representing the sanitation districts of Los Angeles County, we have the chair of their board, Kathy Werner. We also have, we have a couple of different people that I didn't see here. So Jeff Hanlon from Three Valleys Municipal Water District. And we have, of course, our general manager, Adel Hashkaliu. General Manager Robert Ferrante from the LA County Sanitation Districts. Chief Engineer also, aren't you? Okay. And then I want to acknowledge we have staff here representing some of our legislative offices. So Naomi Riley is here from Congresswoman Sidney Kamlager-Dove's office. Alondra Lopez from Assemblymember Laura Friedman's office. He's here somewhere. And then, let's see, we have Ryan Hall from Senator Lola Smallwood Cuevas' office. All right, and last but not least, because I'm getting ready to introduce him, Juwan Hilton, who's Mayor Pro Tem with the City of Carson. And if we missed anybody, Elisa Mendez is down here in front. Please slip her a note and we'll acknowledge you during our program. All right. So to welcome us here today, we have a special treat. This is the home of this district in this area is the City of Carson. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome the Mayor Pro Tem, Juwan Hilton, to come up and join us. He is homegrown, born and raised here in the City of Carson, and has been in office since 2015 and doing a wonderful job in leadership for the city and the community. And he's here to welcome you to Carson today.
Thank you so much. On behalf of our mayor, Mayor Lula Davis Holmes, who's at another event this morning, I stand in her stead. And good morning, everyone. As Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Carson, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Joint Water Pollution Control Plant to celebrate progress on the Pure Water Southern California program. That deserves a hand clap. And this plant is a model of sustainability and innovation. It's energy, self-sufficient, and incorporates innovation technology like recycling food waste into energy and compost. I'm excited that Carson may become host to one of the most advanced water treatment facilities in the world as part of the Pure Water program. And this program would benefit the city by providing great new jobs, as it's another example of Carson being the leader and the jewel of South Bay. Last year, the city approved the pipeline alignment for this program. We appreciate the collaborative work with the program's design team, including scheduling the work to be complete before the host Olympic event in 2028. And I want to thank you for joining us for this critical and celebratory event on Pure Water and this Pure Water project. My name is Mayor Pro Tem Juwan Hilton, and I approve this message.
And we approve it too. Thank you so much. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started with our formal program this morning. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you Director Dennis Erdman, who is the chair of Metropolitan's Engineering, Operations, and Technology Committee. He serves on our board of directors, and he is here in the stead of our chair of our board, Adon Ortega. So Director Erdman, if you would please join us up here to give us our opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee, for the introduction. And Mayor Pro Tem, I saw in your bio that you're the father of 3 adorable daughters. I just want to warn you that they become teenagers at some point in the future, and all of your parenting skills will be put to challenge. I can tell you that as a father of daughters and as a grandfather of 7 granddaughters. But so be prepared, sir. Today we're celebrating our water future. The $80 million in state funding will help advance Pure Water Southern California, a program that will provide 150 million gallons per day of water, rain or shine. It'll produce a new climate resilient water supply for future generations. But our celebration today has taken years of planning, and we need to continue to plan for a reliable water future as we grapple with the impacts of climate change. So Metropolitan is developing a climate adaptation master plan for water. The climate adaptation master plan is looking at planning through a climate lens and will elevate our efforts to respond, making climate adaptation essential to all of the long-term planning and financial investments. One of the most important goals of the Climate Adaptation Master Planning is to increase reliability and resilience for all of Southern California water supplies in response to a changing climate. And I believe that Pure Water Southern California is precisely the investment that will help us meet these goals. The program provides water security and a multitude of other benefits. Job creation is one of them. The program will create nearly 50,000 good jobs for local communities. We're implementing a project labor agreement to ensure that the construction projects related to Pure Water are carried out efficiently with a highly skilled and qualified local workforce. The project, thank you. The Project Labor Agreement's Construction Careers Pipeline program ensures that local communities benefit from the program by developing training programs, creating employment opportunities, and supporting workforce development in the water industry. And we need good new people joining the water industry. As we consider the economic benefits of pure water will provide, we also recognize the importance of cost and affordability in delivering pure water program to our communities. Through diligent planning and leveraging funding opportunities such as this grant and innovative partnerships with Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts, Central Arizona Project, the Nevada Water Authority, and others, we're actively working to offset costs and maintain affordability. Our ongoing collaboration with the state and project partners allows us to explore innovative partnerships and ensure responsible financial management. This funding not only ensures affordability of this important program, it provides opportunities to streamline Pure Water Southern California by allowing us to begin critical work now and stay on schedule. Thank you, Assemblymember Calderon, state legislators, and our administration for this support. Assemblymember Calderon, your leadership also resulted in legislation that allows us to use design build for this project, further streamlining our efforts in implementing the program. As we develop Pure Water Southern California, we're committed to actively involving the community in the planning and implementation of this program. By partnering with community leaders, groups, schools, and the public, we can share information and discuss ideas, leverage our collective knowledge, and build trust, support, and long-lasting relationships. This program is truly a partnership. It's collaboration with our regional agencies, our Colorado River partners, the state of California, labor, trade, environmental organizations, and our community members. Thank you all for joining us here today. I'm honored to be part of this momentous milestone for Pure Water and look forward to the future of this program. Thank you very much. Dee, would you like to introduce the next speaker?
Thank you, Director Erdman. And it is maybe have been your honor to do those remarks. It is my honor now to acknowledge our next speaker. And you've already recognized Assemblymember Lisa Calderon, but I want to also say a couple of words about her. For those of you who don't know her, which I think is probably would be surprising, she represents the eastern part of Los Angeles County and the San Gabriel Valley. She's known for her work on equity, especially for women and serving on the commission for women and girls. What she has done, though, is she's emerged as a water leader without really being on a water committee in terms of her role specifically with this project. And so we want to welcome you and we want to thank you for your efforts to help expedite and advance what is really the climate solutions that we need for Southern California water supplies. So Assemblymember Calderon, if you'd please join us on stage. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. This is really a special group. I just have to tell you, it's really a pleasure for me to be here with all of you because I consider all of you water champions and experts. And I'm not an expert, but happy to be present in your presence today. So I'm happy to be here to recognize the leadership of Metropolitan Water District and the Los Angeles County Sanitation District in planning for Southern California's water future. Climate change is definitely altering our weather patterns, and it's creating cycles of extreme drought and flood. I think anybody that's seen the news in the last couple weeks has seen how hot it's been in certain parts of the country. I was just back east, and there was flooding and just irrepressible heat in the span of like 4 days. So, I think it's imperative that we continue to adapt to this new normal. And part of that is identifying new ways to meet our region's water needs. And that's kind of hard to do sometimes when we don't know what the climate's going to be throwing at us. And I'm also really excited to be here with my colleague, Assemblyman Mike Gibson. Mike is a big part of a greater group of legislators that have advocated for funding and legislation in Sacramento to improve our water infrastructure and reliability. Last year, I authored AB 1845, which authorized MWD to use alternative project delivery methods to expedite the design and construction of drought-resilient projects, such as the Pure Water Southern California project. And I was also proud to champion and had the support of many of my colleagues, some of whose staff are here today, to champion the $80 million in last year's budget to help accelerate this project and allow construction to begin as early as 2025. And this is so important because this funding will ensure the cost of water supplies are more affordable. With the increase of water reliability and the creation of hundreds of jobs in Southern California, I'm very excited for the Pure Water Southern California project. I look forward to continuing to advocate for these kinds of efforts in Sacramento and be part of a larger coalition to make sure our water needs are met in Southern California. And thank you so much for having me today. This is truly an honor.
Thank you, Assembly Member. And we, more ways than you know, we appreciate you and your whole family who have been longtime supporters with Senator Charles Calderon, your son, everyone. So thank you. So we have visitors from time to time to Pure Water Southern California, including from our legislative offices. Two who've been here more frequently than others. One who isn't here today is Senator Bradford, but one who is here today, Assemblymember Mike Gibson, because this facility resided in his district for many, many years. And so it is an honor also to have you here, Assemblymember Gibson. We'd love for you to come up and share a few words and endorse your efforts for workforce development in the community, something we care a great deal about.
Let me say good morning and buenos dias. I think it's still morning. I'm happy to be here on this very exciting day. I want to thank Dee very much for being our master of mistress of ceremony. To my colleague and my friend and my brother, the Mayor Pro Tem of the great city of Carson, Juwan Hilton, for bringing not only greetings on behalf of the mayor, but also the 100,000 residents of the city of Carson, which I live in the city of Carson. He's actually my council member. So can we give him a round of applause? Thank you for doing an outstanding job. To the Los Angeles County Sanitation District and also to the Metropolitan Water District. I'm excited to be amongst all of you, my colleagues, those who serve in various capacity, elected and or appointed. As we come together to celebrate the work that my colleague, Lisa Calderon, and my other colleagues have done. I am very grateful, one, that this is part of my district, too, because they have been a trailblazer for justice in the California legislature. And let me say this is no small task. To get $80 million in the budget during a budget deficit year, this is a tremendous task. You have some drum majors for justice. So can you do me a favor? Can you put your hands together like you lost your mind, and let's give them a round of applause. They should be able to hear you out there on Sepulveda. Let's make some noise up in this place. We thank you very much for your leadership. And to my colleague, Laura Friedman, for championing this cause. She's our environmental champion among so many others in the legislature that we share this great work together. It is absolutely good. And I'm going to end on this note. Mitch, for the ironworkers, that to have people during this economy to, one, write a narrative of hope that you're getting ready to bring in this community by creating local hire, to making sure that people who have gotten out of prison have an opportunity to get a job on this project. It's a game changer. So please don't miss the point. You are significant, and we celebrate all the work that you've done for our community and the people of the state of California. So thank you very much, and God bless you.
And that was worth it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And we all need that extra spur of enthusiasm, because these are long projects. They take a long time to build, even if we're expediting them, but they certainly are worth it to the community. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge Assemblymember Freddie Rodriguez, who couldn't be here today, but he provided us with a certificate acknowledging this occasion, so I wanted to acknowledge that. All right, with that, we're going to move to our main partner in this project, which is the Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts. And I would like to welcome the stage their general manager, Robert Ferrante, to provide a few remarks. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you, Dee. And thank you, Assemblymember Gibson, for raising the energy here. No one needs coffee anymore. Thank you. On behalf of the sanitation districts, I want to thank all of you for coming here. Your attendance today is not just support of the Pure Water Project, but towards sustainability for the region as we face climate change and drought. And as Dee mentioned and others have mentioned, the whiplash we're seeing with climate change as well. Just a little bit about the sanitation districts. We serve 78 cities throughout LA County, including unincorporated LA County. And decades ago, our agency leaders realized that water was too precious to use just once. And we pioneered groundwater recharge in the early 60s with our partners at LA County Public Works and the Water Replenishment District. And we've been doing that successfully since that time. So anytime you go up the 605 and you see the spreading basins there, that is reclaimed water replenishing the groundwater basins. And we have, over that time, we're the #1 water recycler in the state of California. Thank you. Our recycling efforts, though, are not just limited to water. We also, at this site here, as you heard earlier, we're energy self-sufficient. What our public and our community, what they flush down the toilet, we turn into renewable energy. And this, it takes a lot of energy to run a facility this big, over 20 megawatts, and we produce all of that from digester gas that we create on site here. We have so much, in fact, that we also convert that to renewable natural gas to power natural gas vehicles. And we have a growing organics and food waste program here in support of the state, in support of organics diversion. I don't know the official numbers at other facilities, but we're up to 500 tons a day of organic and food waste that are recycled beneficially here. And now we're ready to take the next step at this site. This is our last untapped water source for reclaimed water with the Metropolitan Water District. And obviously, in order to do a project this big, we needed a partner that had long-term vision, capable of having the expertise to design and operate big systems, but most importantly, the collaboration to work with others and to develop a team. In the Metropolitan Water District and the sanitation districts, we both have those traits. So we're really appreciative of working with Metropolitan, but more importantly, as I look through the audience here, I see all of our partners, whether it's our host city, Carson, which has been a great partner in having us develop and grow this facility and grow its environmental benefits. The other cities that we partner with that are on our board of directors as well as all the other water agencies as well. And it's great to see too, guys in vests that are going to be doing the jobs and working at these facilities and building these facilities too. They are all our partners, as well as the environmental groups that we work with on a routine basis as well, safeguarding our oceans and rivers. I just want to touch on what I consider, thank you, what I consider the three biggest benefits of this project, actually four biggest benefits of this project. One is, of course, the new supply of water, enough water for 1.5 million people. And that water will be drought proof. Day in, day out, year in, year out, we'll be producing that water. Secondly, utilizing the storage that we have in the Central Basin and the San Gabriel Basin for storing that water. So when we have a lot of imported water, we can store the water in the groundwater basins. When we don't have that imported water, we can withdraw that water from the groundwater basins. And that's under local control here for the region. And finally, adding to the treatment at this plant will allow us to further treat the water, reduce nutrients that go to the ocean, and help offset the climate change impacts that the ocean's experiencing from the warming of the ocean water as well. So those are the technical ones, but I think you've also heard the important one about job creation. Not only jobs during the construction, but long-term. And there is such a focus too on live in the city, work in the city here as well. And that is a great thing. That has not only economic benefits for the individuals, but also environmental benefits for the region as well to have that. So with that, I'd like to thank all of you in attendance once again. I'd like to thank the state, obviously, for the 80 million and the legislators here for their support, and the State Water Board and the local regional board as they continue to be partners with us in developing this project. I personally look forward to working with all of you in bringing this Pure Water project to fruition. So thanks. And with that, it is my honor to introduce the chair of the Sanitation Districts Board. Now, a little bit about the Sanitation Districts Board. As I mentioned, we have 78 cities. So all those mayors and the city council, they're on our board. We have close to 100 directors. So we have one chair, and that's Kathy. And Kathy Werner does a great job keeping all of those boards in line and sticking to our mission. She absolutely does. Kathy's a longtime city council member of the city of Whittier, multiple terms as mayor as well, and she's been our chair for the last 4.5, 5 years now. So with that, welcome Kathy Werner. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. We do have a tradition of having short meetings. We start on time. And our directors are always able to ask questions, but I always encourage them to call in their questions ahead of time or after the meetings to Robert so we can keep our meetings short. And I think I was trained to do that by having 7 children, to be honest with you. It is a pleasure to be here with you. I always learn. Every time I go somewhere, I'm learning something new. And boy, do we owe you some thanks. More so than I realized. Thank you so much. And Lisa represents Whittier. And Joaquin. It's been a pleasure to be here with him a few times and see our facilities here. So, to the script, as Robert noted, this program is a huge undertaking. Not only would there be significant construction at this plant site, but there would be a large 60-mile pipeline crossing at least 15 cities to deliver the water where it's needed. Having served on the City Council for many years, I appreciate the challenge of large regional projects. And I know that Pure Water will be successful because of the collaboration of so many agencies. Although MWD and sanitation districts are the lead agencies for this Pure Water project, as Robert mentioned, each one of you here is an integral part of this team, and we are a team. In Whittier, we say we are Team Whittier. Every one of us has a role, and every one of you here today has a role, and I believe that firmly and support that 100%. Our lead agencies are committed to working closely with our cities, regulatory agencies, local water agencies, and engineering consultants, and as Robert said, environmental groups and our elected officials. And of course, support from the state is vital. Can't do it without the state. We so appreciate and are excited about this funding today. It's a positive sign that the project has the support needed. So looking forward to, again, working with all of you. And I would like to have a glass of that pure water. I'm ready to take a drink. Dee?
We look forward to having those drinks and serving them here with the party at the completion of the project. So we'll join you there. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time and attention and your remarks, Chair Warner. It's now my pleasure to introduce the chair of our State Water Resources Control Board. And this chair, we've had fabulous leadership on the State Water Resources Control Board. This particular individual, Joaquin Esquivel, was not only appointed by one governor, he was reappointed by the next. So Governor Brown, Governor Newsom, but he probably has the broadest experience of anybody leading this agency. I just want to acknowledge that before he was in this role, he served as Assistant Secretary for Federal Water Policy at the California Natural Resources Agency in the Governor's Washington, D.C. office. And he worked before that, as many of you know, with Senator Boxer leading these issues. So he is not only knowledgeable and experienced, but he knows how to work the system, get things done, connect people at the federal, state, and the local level. Having grown up in Coachella and knowing this region very well and the challenges that we're facing in order to be prepared for our future. So with that, I very much welcome Joaquin Esquivel to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee. That was a very kind introduction, and it's just an incredible honor. I think that word's been used quite a bit today because of the excitement that this project really embodies. You know, there's a lot of stress out there in our communities, whether it's drought, whether it's flood, whether it's extreme heat, or even wildfires. We know that we're in times now that contain an incredible amount of certainty and tension. Here, the pressures of climate change, we really, I quip sometimes, we have 21st century challenges with 20th century infrastructure and 19th century laws. And so amongst all that, we're really faced with how are we going to actually adapt to these challenges? How are we going to continue to connect communities to something we know that's so critically vital when it comes to the delivery of water in our state? And so that stress, that anxiety, that's ameliorated here. It's ameliorated here by these projects because of their innovation, because of what they represent, because of sometimes there is a distrust in government and a question of, can we get big things done? And this is an example of big things that we can get done in ways that, as Robert said, have multiple benefits for our communities. Because it's not just about drought resilience and water quality, which the recent die-off of the marine mammals within the Bight, even the red tide event that we saw up in San Francisco so most recently, are all examples of the impact that nutrients have on our coastal waters. So the more that we can think smarter about our water systems, the more that we can have a one water approach that connects those drops and actually innovates in this space, the more that we can continue to have a common vision here all amongst us. So I'm just fortunate to do my small part here as chair of the State Water Board with the Regional Water Board, overseeing water quality, regulating water rights, but here importantly, investing in our water systems. Since the last 2019, 4 years alone, the State Water Board has been able to invest $7 billion in the state's water systems. That's for stormwater capture, that's for drinking water, clean access to drinking water, that's for sanitation, and importantly, that's for these 21st century facilities here that we're building. So I'm glad to do my part. The dollars that we're contributing, I know, are critical to the affordability of these systems. That's so front of mind for me at the State Board, because those billions we're able to invest in low interest loans and grants are real savings in our communities. And so front of mind as well is the debt that I know that continues to be carried by so many systems. So we're very fortunate because this partnership that we have amongst everyone includes $600 million for arrearages to be able to pay down water debt, so that communities aren't burdened by water debt as we try to make these critical investments. So we're here to be a partner here on the funding side and on the regulatory side as we push toward direct potable reuse regulations. The board is proud to be able to be considering and adopting here by the end of the year. It's an example that it's not just local leadership that makes these projects possible, but also it's that state, federal, and even national and international work that makes all of this work so critical. So again, it's an example of the things that we can look forward to into the future here, where we can see prosperity, where we can see a common future amongst each other. And again, I appreciate the invitation and glad to do my small part. So thank you.
It's no small part to bring such a large check. I'll just point that out. And certainly for $7 billion of investment in California's water infrastructure, there is no resource that's more greatly impacted than water resources with what we're facing with climate change. And we all know that. And we very much appreciate your role, the state's role, and the partnerships that we have with the federal government as well. Before I acknowledge our next, or invite our next speaker up, I do want to acknowledge in the audience, we have Director Jim Deere from West Basin Municipal Water District, and Director Leticia Vasquez from the Central Basin Municipal Water District. Okay, thank you. So, and I'm sorry, I said Jim Deere. I announced your brother. So, okay, Don Deere, West Basin, Jim Deere from the City Council. So welcome, I apologize. I'll welcome, thank you very much. Okay, so Pure Water Southern California is a new paradigm for Metropolitan, to quote our executive officer and head of our water resource program, Dennis, I'm doing it all over today, Devin Apadier, somebody I've known forever, who's in the back of the room right now. It's a new paradigm for this agency to be moving towards a supply that is drought resistant, locally generated, and a big partnership with the LA County sanitation districts. Our new general manager, Adel Haj Khalil, brings with him to this agency the experience of having run the City of Los Angeles sanitation districts for 10 years, working there as their assistant, and then following that, working on another aspect of water through the Bureau of Street Services, where he worked on stormwater management, clean streets programs, and he's bringing that wealth of knowledge here to Metropolitan to help us deliver this project. So without further ado, I would like to invite our general manager to the stage to talk about our future. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm not new anymore. I'm not sure how much new. I just finished my second year. It feels like 10, or it feels like a month, the way you look at it. But it's been exciting. It's been exciting to be part of a great future that we're framing together. We're facing many challenges, serious challenges about our future when it comes to water. But great people, what do? they react. And I've been saying this is our second Mulholland moment in our history. 100 years ago, Mulholland was envisioned bringing water to Southern California through aqueducts. And people voted for it to tax themselves without really knowing the future because they knew they needed water to come here. And now this is the chance we have to really get us ready for the next 100 years. And what we're seeing is the climate whiplash that many of you talked about. Extreme heat, drier conditions. And that's what we saw last year, the last few years. And we almost ran out of water for a large portion of our community. Ran out of storage and many of the things that we had. Colorado River, we're seeing a huge challenge in the amount of water we have, and we know it's going to be less and less. So we need to adapt to it. We need to adapt to this changing climate and do it in a smart, holistic approach. And that's what we're doing here. Our board is taking on climate adaptation master planning, and it's about how we plan for this future. And I keep talking about addressing any challenge we have is the 3 I's I always talk about, is integration, innovation, and inclusion. This is what we do. Is we have to use technology, innovate, think outside the box. But also integration, finding multi-benefit solutions. We can't use the water that we have, it's the same water. So let's make sure we're reusing it. Capture stormwater, recycle wastewater, conserve water, and find ways to store water when we have it so we can use it when we don't have it. That's smart water management. That's the future. And I call it, what I call it is the fourth aqueduct that we need to build. And it's not a real pipeline. Don't be scared we're building an aqueduct. It's a virtual one. It's a puzzle of pieces of storage, conservation, stormwater capture, recycled water, pipelines to move water around. That's the future. And this project is part of that puzzle. And the good thing about it, when we do these projects, it's not just about providing water for people. It's uplifting communities, ensuring affordability, creating jobs, making people's lives better. And I'm so proud that this project is about innovation. It's going to provide us water, enough water for over 1.5 million people. That's going to help us deal with this climate whiplash and the challenges we have. As my partner Robert said, we're going to be replenishing the water in the ground. And I see many of our partners across the groundwater basins, whether Upper San Gabriel, Central, etc. We're all going to be working together to put that water in the ground so when we need it, we can pull it out. None of us want to be in a place where you can turn the faucet and no water comes out. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility, all of us. And I'll tell people, this is a great opportunity for all of us to say, 10 years, 20 years from now, to say, hey, we had something to do with it. Just remember this moment. You had something to do with it. When people look back at you and say, oh, what did you do? I said, I made sure that we have water for our communities. I created jobs for our communities. I made our communities a better place. I know I talked to the mayor of Carson and the deputy pro tem, or the pro tem, mayor pro tem. We talked about jobs and workforce development. You had a fair recently on the 15th, and we're planning to do more across the entire region because our partnership, and I see our partners from the building trades here, Chris and the team here, thank you for all your partnership. Also, Ernesto, thank you for being here and the team. The project labor agreement is another piece of the puzzle, is how can you build projects while you're building people, right? It's about people. So how many of you believe that we need to do this and invest in the future of water for all of us? How many people believe that? How many people are really about investing, creating jobs for our communities? How many people want to make sure that when you turn the faucet, we have water for our children? I think we can do it. And this moment in time, this partnership we see with the sanitation district, with our labor, with the environmental community. I see Bruce and I see Mark Gold and many others here. We all came together to work together on creating the future. Let's deal with stuff we have control over. We have control over recycling our water. We're going to expedite the project. You know, I appreciate Assemblyman Calderon. When we went over to her, and my first day on the job, I met with my chief engineer, John Bernowski. Is John here? John, and I said to John, what can we do to expedite this project? They said, I need progressive design build authority from the state. We went and jumped, and thank you for sponsoring the bill, and we were able, thank you. And I'll tell you, we were able to get a bill through and have it be signed into law by the governor, Governor Newsom, in less than 9 months. That's amazing. So when we talk about accelerating projects, when we talk about moving things fast, we can do it. If we're all together, rowing in the same direction, we can get it done. So it's to me, this is going to be the future. We are building this resiliency. We're working on workforce development. And I'll tell you, it's so honored to work for my board, the visionary of the board, and my chair. But I thought I had the biggest board, 38 people, but I guess you have 100. I'm sorry. I was complaining for a long time I had 38 board members, but now I can't. I'm sorry. But I've been great to have a great support from the board. But I want to thank the state legislators, Governor Newsom, the administration, the State Water Resource Control Board, and Chair Escoval. It has been a partnership. It has been all of us working together. Our LA delegation came together, and when we're together, we can move mountains. And I'm so grateful to the governor and his team, because I believe when he developed his water supply action plan is a message about we can't just do things the old way. We need to recover and make up the shortage in water supply in stormwater capture, recycling, brackish water desal, whatever we're doing, conservation. And we partnered as Metropolitan. We co-sponsored AB 1572 with Assemblymember Friedman for not watering non-functional turf. And this came together for Metropolitan to partner and co-sponsor a bill with NRDC and the Heal the Bay. It was a big thing because we believe that our effort is not only conserving, not wasting water, but also creating water that we can save. And the partnership on this project goes beyond just the local area. We have representatives from our partners up in the Central Arizona project. Central Arizona and Nevada are partners with us on this project because when we conserve here, when we recycle water here, it's going to help the entire watershed of the Colorado River, which is strained. On Friday, we're meeting as 7 states to fight over the water of the future. And I think it's not fighting, it's going to be collaborating the same way. But I'm so proud of the representation here from the staff on the Central Arizona project. Vinitha Kartha, thank you for being here. I don't know if the Southern Nevada Water Authority representative Dave Johnson is here. Is Dave here? So I want to thank Dave. Dave, thank you. Appreciate it. And thanks to John. And we appreciate the partnership. In the news, you talk about us fighting, disagreeing, California versus the world. It's not. It's all of us have to come back to reality. Reality is we know the climate is changing, water supply is diminishing, and our job is how can we make it together? And it's all about us together. And that's why I wear this. We are one. So we are all one. And if you believe in that we are one and you want to stand with us and move this journey forward, stand up. Thank you, all of you, for being champions for water, champions for community benefits, champion for healthy communities. I want to thank my staff, the staff in engineering, my staff in Devin Aparehe and the team, John and everybody. Thank you for operation. I know Mickey and Shane, External Affairs D and your team. Thank you for the work you do every single day. Jay Jefferson, our new hire here, he's saying that he's good because he worked for Assembly Gibson at one time. But water quality, I know, it's amazing. Water quality is what's all about, and we just issued our report. Real property, making things happen, environmental planning, legal support, water resource management. It takes all of us to work together to deliver this. But at the end of the day, it's all about integration, innovation, and inclusion, and we are one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General Manager Haj Khalil. And thank you everyone again for being here today. We have just a couple more items that we want to make sure that we take care of. And one of them is we're going to take 3 photos up here, and I'm going to call certain individuals to come up for these photos. And yes, it will be with this big check. So if the photographers could come up and we could get ready for that. we're going to ask that Chair Esquivel, Assemblymember Calderon, Director Erdman, Chairwoman Warner, GM Ferrante, and of course GM Haj Khalil be here for this photo. I think we've practiced this. This is the first one.
Let me recognize Scott Houston from West Basin, the chair of their board, president of their board. Thank you, Scott, for being here. Which way are we going to do it?
Please stay here. Assemblymember Gibson, would you please come up and be in this photo as well?
Right on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I know, right? I was going to advocate we did it Publishers Clearinghouse style with balloons and the check, but
Rob, Ferrante, Chair Warner, we'd like one more with the staff. So, Joaquin, please stay. Yeah. Mayor Pro Tem Hilton, would you come up? Thank you.
Sorry, joining. Oh, got a microphone too. Hi, great job.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Good to
great to
see
see you again. Yeah, I served on the sandboard for 10 years.
I know.
And
You
I'm
said
back on the
your,
council.
your brother is, I know him.
Yeah, Don.
I know Don pretty well.
Great
But I miss
speech.
it. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Good
I'm
seeing
gonna, I'm
you.
gonna quote part of it.
Yeah, great. Good seeing you.
I also want to acknowledge Norma Camacho. I'm sorry I didn't see you earlier. She's for the LA Regional Water Quality Control Board. So thank you for joining us today, and I'm sorry if we missed anybody else. We will have additional opportunities for photos over at the Step and Repeat under this tent over here, and we'd love to have one with the directors that are here today for Metropolitan and very likely for LA County San folks as well, LA County Sanitation Districts as well, because it's plural. Um, these events don't happen without a lot of volunteers. And the volunteers come from both LA County Sanitation Districts and Metropolitan, and it's across all groups. General Manager Hush Khalil mentioned a number of them, but I want to thank everybody for your work and doing a fabulous job. And let folks know we have tours of the facility. If you'd like to and you haven't done it yet, please line up under the Pure Water sign behind me, and we'll take you on a tour. There's also still a lot of food. So thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure to be here together with you as the beginning of this program starts and we move forward to construct this new facility. Thank you so much.